สำหรับหลายคนเวลาที่จะต้องพรีเซนต์เป็นภาษาอังกฤษต่อหน้าคนเยอะๆเนี่ยสิ่งที่เราจะกังวลมากๆเลยก็คือเรื่องของรูปประโยคมันสวยหรูพอไหมมันดูแปลกๆห้วนๆไหมดูธรรมดาดูน่าเบื่อไปไหมไม่ต้องกังวลอีกต่อไปเพราะวันนี้คณะเอาตัวอย่างบทเรียนจากคอร์ส Speak Brilliantly Excel at Public Speaking and Presentation in English ที่รวมเทคนิคและเครื่องมือการใช้รูปประโยคภาษาอังกฤษเราจะสร้างประโยคสร้างเนื้อหาอย่างไรให้ฟังแล้วโดนใจฟังแล้วว้าวไปดูกันเลยค่ะ
You have come to the soul, to the ultimate lesson of this course. Welcome. Welcome. เขาก็จะไม่เชื่อก็เพราะว่า acting แกนั่นแหละแหมอะไรนักหนา Now, welcome to this video lesson about powerful sentence structure. And of course, all jokes aside, but this video lesson is one video lessons I would love to proudly present, and I can assure you, as you explore all the things we have learned today and apply in your presentation or speech, you will see a huge remarkable differences in your speech. ปรบมือทุกๆ5 นาที Anyway, enough with me selling my stuff. Let's jump right in of the things that you can do, that you can add as part of your content. How do you form like I want to be able to talk like with the cool phrases and sentences like these great global speakers. How do we do that? There's a tool for that. So you will see that there are two parts of powerful sentence structure, right? And this first one, we're going to look at what is, I think it's quite of the art of the language. It's called rhetorical devices. These are, you can call it language tools. เป็นเหมือนการใช้ภาษาบางอย่างเพื่อให้เกิดพลังเพื่อให้เกิดอารมณ์ร่วม It's pretty much like that. So, rhetorical device is what I really proudly present. Have you ever listened to someone's speech, like great speakers, or maybe read like really good articles or books, and then you think to yourself like, how did they even come up with those sentences? Like it sounds really smart, it sounds really cool, like how? These are the things that could be the secret, the game changer to your content, okay? Now, what is rhetorical device first? We need to understand it. And this is a definition from your dictionary, yeah? A rhetorical device uses words in a certain way to convey meaning or to persuade. It can also be a technique used to evoke emotions within reader or audience. So this can be applied both for writing and also for speaking, yeah? So what we're gonna take a look at, of course, for rhetorical devices, if you search it online, you will see that there are so many of them, like countless of rhetorical devices. What I have selected for you today are some of them, but some significant game-changing devices or tools that if you incorporate in your speech it's gonna sound like, ooh, this person is pretty cool, pretty smart, okay? So let's take a look at the first of them first. This is called repetition. Repetition, what does it mean? So just saying the same thing like I, okay, I did this a lot. I, do, think. Is that repetition? No, that's stuttering. อันนี้คือติดอ่านนะคะไม่ใช่ repetition. But so what repetition? ซ้ำทำซ้ำพูดซ้ำ So how can you repeat some things and sound cool? It doesn't make any sense, right? So essentially what repetition is not always like I think without anything. There's a purpose to it, yeah? In a speech or presentation, if there's something that you really want to build up the climax, like hey, like that. Or if you want to incline certain feelings, evoke certain emotion, emphasize something like you have the hammer and you want to like bam, now it's it, yeah? Or like get to the heart of the people. You use repetition a lot. You only select certain phrases, maybe 2 words, 3 words, 4 words, like a sentence or like half of a sentence or 2. to say again and then again and then again. So this part, the same phrase, something something else. Again, the same phrase, something something else. Again, the same phrase, something something else. That's what you do with repetition. Of course, you're probably still like, what are you talking about, Kana? So let's take a look at this example. And this is, you can say this speech is one of the most, it's historical moment. Yeah, it's a historical moment that changed the course of the history. Yeah, so this is the speech by Martin Luther King Jr. It's called I Have a Dream. So this was very old one. Please excuse some sound quality because it was old. It was in the 1960s. Yeah, that was when the equality in terms of in terms of race and racism in America was still, it's in the part where there's a lot of inequality. Yeah, where people of color, people with different skin color still not being treated equally. So it was something that changed the course of the history. People still talk about this moment all the time. And this is a speech that changed everything by using the word, I have a dream, I have a dream, and we're going to take a look at it together. Okay, so that's what happened. So I have a dream. So we will take a look at the script together. So don't worry, yeah. And you will have the script in your guidebook as well, yeah. So if you see, it starts with I have a dream, and the sentence is pretty long, right? It's pretty long. So I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. Blah 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 blah, right? And then let's see next.
All men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream.
Okay, just pause a little bit so that you maybe notice. It was I have a dream, and his vision about one day there should be equality, there should be freedom for people of color living in this country, that should not be treated, they should be treated as equal, all these things. And he built up the momentum to that speech, that vision. I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. The thing, I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard a story. People were saying that this actually it was when he went off script. Yeah. So the script was not like this, but it comes from his inner emotions or something like that. So that makes it also extra remarkable. Yeah. Let's take a look at just a little bit of final part.
My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
So that's the speech. It's called I Have a Dream. And the video, this video, I have put down the link again. If you haven't downloaded the guidebook, please do download. Yeah, I think you probably come this far. You probably already downloaded. But you will see that there's a link of all the videos we talked about, so you can watch the whole thing in your own guidebook yourself. Yeah. So maybe you're like, oh, can I keep pausing things? You can watch the whole video yourself. Okay. And this is video from the rare facts. Yeah, rare facts. So that's why we see a big, beautiful subtitles. Okay, let's see what he talks about. Maybe you couldn't catch it. Let's see from the script so that you get a better picture. Yeah, I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and lift out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state of sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and injustice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. Run! And people were like, wow! Because you could say that it changed the course of the history when people are not being treated well, especially people of color back then. So this was the thing that was really inspiring. It very motivational for so many people. Yeah, and the repetition part, as you can see, as highlighted here, is I have a dream. Yeah, I have a dream, and the whole thing are different chunk of information, but still, hitting the nail on the head. It's still like the same point. โดนเข้าไปต้องถึงใจ or something like that actually helps people to feel the same way, to really reach the highest emotions, heightened emotions in certain area of the things. Yeah, like I have a dream, and it doesn't have to be I have a dream. It can be something like throwing examples. Yeah, I see the future with advanced technology where you don't have to be scared of cancer anymore. I see the future where young people and old people can live together. Something like, I see the future, blah, blah, blah. I see the future, blah, blah, blah. Or it can be, together, we can make a difference in our world. Together, we can make changes we can never foresee. Together, it can be one word, it can be 2 words, it can be a sentence, yeah, it can be anything, but it's go into the same point, to the same purpose, hitting the same nail, ตอกตะปูตัวเดิมนั่นแหละแต่ให้เข้าลึกเข้าไปเรื่อยๆ yeah. Let's see another examples maybe. Yeah, this one is a little bit more recent one because that one was a little bit back in the days, right? Now this one was in 2004 and this is from CNN. They said that this was the speech that Barack Obama actually won the heart of people in America. The first time, I think I don't know, I didn't fact check it, but that people start to see him and then he shine brightly because of this speech. Some people say it's the speech that made Obama the president of the United States, the former president of the United States. Yeah, so this is him talking about like how motivating, how we have the future, the hope for better America. Yeah, so something like that. So let's see, and this time notice where are the repetition effect. Okay,
a belief that there are better days ahead. I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road to opportunity. I believe we can provide jobs to the jobless, homes to the homeless, and reclaim young people in cities across America from violence and despair. I believe that we have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. America, tonight, if you feel the same energy that I do, if you feel the same urgency that I do, if you feel the same passion that I do, if you feel the same hopefulness that I do, if we do what we must do, then I have no doubt that all across the country from...
Okay, now these are the things that, and it seemed like, wow, super motivating, blah, 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 right? So let's take a look at the script together. So he said, I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road to opportunity. I believe we can provide jobs to the jobless, home to the homeless, and reclaim young people in cities across America from violence and despair. I believe we have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. So I believe. Sometimes people are like, hey, you don't have other words to say than I believe. And then I believe that we can give our middle class relief. I'm positive that we can provide jobs, or like, it would be nice if we have a righteous wind. Of course he can say that. He have enough vocabulary in his head. But this one is really to emphasize, to really like hit the same nail on the head, yeah, to really evoke certain emotions like hey to the top. ทะลุเพดาน yeah. So something to really get people, but only certain purpose, yeah. To when you really, of course, you are persuading something, or you really motivating people, you want to heighten emotions, then you use repetition. Other than that, America, tonight, if you feel the same energy that I do, if you feel the same urgency that I do, if you feel the same passion that I do, if you feel the same hopefulness that I do, if we do what we must do, then I have no doubts that all across the country, from Florida to Oregon, from Washington to Maine, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So this is, again, you use the same repetition, but you change the word in between. So it doesn't have to always connect to one another. If you feel the same that I do. ถ้าคุณรู้สึกเหมือนกัน ถ้าคุณเหมือนกัน 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 so something like that keeps, evoking a certain emotions again and again and again. And that's what a lot of public great speakers in the world usually use for, for evoking certain emotions to really ปลุกระดม motivate people, to inspire people, to really make people feel it with you. Make people feel the same, like heart pounding, like pop, 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 pop with you, with repetition. Okay? So these are some examples. Now, these are repetition, and maybe you can think about like, how should I use the repetition? It doesn't have to always be like, I have to be the president, I have to be political figure. You can use it with anything. You can be anything, especially persuasive speech. Okay? Moving on to another thing that I also really like, and I think it's really fun to do it. It's called anadiplosis. Yeah. So what it essentially means is, of course, apart from the very difficult name, what it means is that the last word, yeah, or phrases, maybe more than one word, it can be 2 words, 3 words, of one sentence, the last word, is being repeated to begin the next one. Yeah. So it's like ต่อคำ, yeah, ต่อคำ. So this is a sentence, whatever come last, go in the beginning of the next sentence, and then last beginning. Yeah. Let's see the example, and this is from Star Wars. Any Star Wars fans? Yeah, Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. Yeah, I think it's in the 1990s. Yeah. So this is from Yoda. Wise words from Yoda. Let's hear it.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Fear leads to anger. Oh, so sorry. So this is what happened. Fear leads to anger. Yeah. So one thing, anger. Yeah. Anger leads to hate. Right. Anger leads to hate. Yeah. That's another thing. Hate. Oh, sorry. Okay, I better just take it out. Fear leads to anger. This begins, right? Hate, then hate. Yeah. And hate leads to suffering. If there's 2 of them, maybe it's not that clear. You want to have maybe like 3 phrases, 3 connect phrases. When do we use anadiplosis? We use anadiplosis to show continuity, cause and effect, this one to this one, this one to this one, or steps. This one to this one, to this one, to this one. Of course it's Star Wars. Of course it's Yoda. Yoda can say, fear leads to anger. And then when you get angry, you becomes hateful. And when you full of hatred, it becomes suffering. Of course he has enough vocabulary to do that, but he doesn't do that because he really want to show a strong connection between this thing leads to this thing, this thing leads to this thing, this thing leads to this thing. Yeah, and it shows with steps, with continuity, with connection from one idea to another. This is when you use anodic clauses, and it sounds very wise. Another interesting example, which the other day I just watched, Disney Mulan, there's a movie, and the ending scene, I don't know if you have watched it, the ending scene is, I think they say, a girl becomes a soldier. Yeah, I'm gonna just do it like this, yeah. A girl becomes a soldier becomes a leader becomes a legend. No, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Please don't fact check me. Maybe, yeah. A girl, you probably have heard Mulan, yeah? Mulan is a girl who pretends to be a boy and then goes to war and then saves the empire or something in China, yeah? So a girl becomes a soldier becomes a leader becomes a legend, yeah? This shows to a full connection between one idea to another, and that's what we want to do. Not because we cannot have like these, fancy words, but because you really want to show a strong connection, one thing to another. Okay, so that's the second one, anodic clauses. Let's try, maybe you can think about something that if you really want to show a connection, you can do it like this. It doesn't have to be leads to, it can be become, it can be, or other examples maybe, exercise makes people healthy. Healthy people, something like that. Or let me think. Volunteer work, or this project gives back to the community. The community enrich the families. The families make greater individuals. The individuals gives back. I don't know, something like that. So something. It can be the same verb. It doesn't, or maybe you change the verb as well, but you connect the ideas to one another. Yeah. My weird example. Next one is what I really like, and you definitely have seen this a lot in many speeches, many talk, and many writing as well. But probably we just didn't know that it was a thing, that it was, okay, this was a rhetorical device, yeah? So this is called antithesis. Anti, right? Anti is when, now, against something, yeah? You go against something. Thesis, I think this is from Latin, yeah, Latin. Thesis is topic, yeah? Against plus topic, so two opposite ideas put together in the same sentence to show a contrasting effect. Yeah, to show a contrasting effect. If you remember, actually, when we just watched a video about Steve Jobs opening introduction to iPhone, right? It doesn't just change the Apple. Yeah, Macintosh. I think Macintosh doesn't just change Apple. It changed the entire computer industry. iPod didn't just change an iPod in 19-something, in 20-something, 2000-something. It didn't just change the Apple. It changed the whole music industry, right? So it was there. It didn't just, yeah. This is to show certain contrasting effect. You really want to show that it's not this, it's actually this. We're going to see more examples, and this is from YouTube channels called English Speeches. So they have great speeches. You should check it out. And again, if you want to link of this video, please, you can get it, all whatever you need from this guidebook with my this thing, okay, from this guidebook. It's all in here, okay? We're gonna see this part of the speech where Joe Biden, the current president of United States, and I think this probably, I don't know if they call it victory speech, yeah? We're gonna see part of it and start to notice which part of it shows a contrasting effect. Let's see.
Trust and confidence you placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify, who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
Okay. Have you spotted something already? I don't know what your answer might be, but of course there are some clear contrast over there if you see carefully, right? I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide but unified, who doesn't see red states and blue states, only see the United States, and work with all my heart, blah 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 blah, work with all my heart with the confidence of the whole people to win the confidence of all of you. Yeah, so that's Joe Biden. Now, what's quite interesting is, okay, this I pledge means it's like I promise, orสาบาน, yeah. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide but unified. He can just say, I pledge to be a president who seeks to unify. It would make sense already. ทำไมต้องเขียนให้มาแบบว่าแบบแต่เปลืองคำ, yeah, redundancy. Actually, it was there mainly to serve purpose. Because as of today that I'm talking now, before Joe Biden, there used to be a huge division in the country, right? People are divided into two sides. This political party, you support this party, you support another party, you support this cause, you don't support this cause, or you are into this side, you're into that side, and we hate each other. So what he really wants to elaborate is not just to unified, but that showing that as of today, that day that Joe Biden was giving a speech, it used to be divided, right? So I, as a president, seeks to unify them. So this serves a purpose of like, hey, I want to show you that it might be divided, but it will be unified. I will work on it to unify the country, right? If you might see maybe a little bit here again, who doesn't see the red states and blue states, only see the United States. Again, this could also be another contrasting effect, showing that, hey, right now, like people are like, hey, you're from this party, okay, you go this part, but now we'll see united as one United States. So this is there to show a contrasting, yeah, not just this, but this, yeah. Let's see some more examples. And this is, of course, a very, again, historical statement by the first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong. And I think he said this when he first landed on the moon, yeah? Setting foot on the moon may be a small step for mankind, but a giant step for mankind. For a man, but a giant step for mankind. Where is the contrasting effect? A small step shows the minus, right? The negative. So you will see negative thing and positive thing, right? Negative is this thing, right? And this not to do something, not to, okay, ดูเป็นประโยคปฏิเสธ อันนี้ก็ดูเป็นประโยคปฏิเสธ เฮ้ยแต่นี้ไม่มีประโยคปฏิเสธนะ right? Like, so how does it show a contrasting effect? So small step itself acts as a contrasting effect as, it might seem like, oh, just like one step to the moon and that's it. But actually, this is a giant step. Positive, yeah? Giant step. So it contrasts small and big, yeah? Divided, unified. It's not just the sentence, whether it's sorry. Okay. If it is like, if it is that is the contrasting effect. It's the meaning of it that is contrasting. Yeah. who doesn't see red state, blue states still divided, right? Not to divide, that's negative. Unify, positive. This one doesn't see red states or blue states, right? That's negative. This one, positive, right? And this one, obviously, a small step, like, hey, you should land on the moon. Hey, it's just that. Okay, small step for a man. So just a man get down from this spaceship and then just land down on the moon, and then that's it. It might be a small step for a man. So that's negative, right? Negative idea. And giant step for mankind. แต่เป็นก้าวที่ยิ่งใหญ่ของมวลมนุษยชาติว้าวคมไปอีก That's antithesis, yeah. But a giant step for mankind means a giant step doesn't mean like, oh man, like, ooh, 3 กิโลก้าวไป. No, it's actually to show that we have a great leap forward. This is gonna advance everything. This is a revolutionary step, a revolutionary advancement of all of the people in the world, that finally we get to visit another thing that is outside of the earth, right? So that's contrasting effect. Let's see a last one. Going back to, you remember Martin Luther King, yeah? There was a little bit of line that is also antithesis, yeah? I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So of course Martin Luther King Jr. can just say where they will be judged only by the content of their character. They don't have to put this judged by the color of the skin, but he really want to show not judged by the color of their skin, because it was the thing that's happening then. People were judged by the color of their skin. If they were black, if they were from other race, they often being judged, being treated poorly, right? So that was there to show the negative effect, and this was there to assert the positive effect. You see the point? Okay, sounds good to you? Now, moving on to another thing that I think this one, you're gonna like this one. If you don't like whatever just passed by so far, you will like these, the next one. So this one is called, which you probably already saw like a glance. This is simile, metaphor, and analogy. These are what I think are the main seasoning, the MSG, MSG of your speech, your presentation. These are the 3 language tools. Yeah.